Howdy folks! Today we are climbing at the Goliath Boulder up in Mount Erie, Washington. So I've never been to this boulder before, but I've heard a lot of really good things, and as you can probably tell already from the video, it was quite smoky on the day I actually climbed here. But thankfully this place was a lot less smoky than some of the other places I was thinking of going. So the first boulder I decided to do once I got here was Rude Awakening, which goes as a V0. And you might have noticed there at the beginning I was trying to kind of figure out where the starting holds were. And that's because there's a lot of really loose, flaky rock that if I was to pull down on it would definitely fall off. And so, you know, climber's etiquette, just dodge all those flaky holds. So the next one starts on the exact same holds, and that's reap what you sow. And this one had a really cool cross move in the middle of it. And then I was looking around, couldn't really see the next hold, so I just made a big move up to the top of the boulder there and managed to get the top out just okay. Now these boulders had a ton of moss on them, as you could probably see, and it kind of gave it a cool aesthetic, especially with the orange yellow glow of the smoke. So this next one, which was Triumph with a Sling, was a little bit hard to read. It moves out right on some underclings, and then you eventually have to go up over the sloper ledge of sorts. Now I didn't read it correctly the first time, but the second time I looked out more to the right and realized there was a really great side pull hold, but unfortunately my right foot kind of slipped out. So this time moving out right once again, and being really careful to push down with my toes so I don't slip. I made that big move out to the side pull, step my feet across, trying to keep the tension so I can remain in control, not swing, and then found that sloper lip right there. So with that, I was able to top out pretty quickly. So Donkey Kick was one of my favorites of this entire boulder that I did that day. And now this one normally goes at a V4, and also used to be called Donkey Punch for a long time. At least that's what I've heard. So right here I was trying to kind of figure out the beta. One thing I really noticed about this boulder, really all the problems I tried, was since there were so many contours on the boulders, and not all the contours were, you know, holdable or climbable, what it really made it difficult for was figuring out the beta quickly and, you know, reading a straightforward line. And unfortunately, when I came to the boulder that day, I didn't really have anything but some of the brief mountain project descriptions. So I didn't really even know where some of these climbs started at first. So I decided to try the boulder from kind of halfway up. So reaching out left hand to that side pull and then stepping my feet up to the ledges. Tried making a bigger move out at the top, and I got my fingers over the lip. So that was definitely the beta I wanted to do. So starting really crunched up, getting my heel hook there, going into the side pull, bumping to the crimp. Now stepping with my left toe, reached into the higher side pull. And then once I was at both side pulls, I stepped my right foot up so it was a little higher, and then launched for the lip, and I was able to catch it okay. I think if I had probably made that a full committing dyno and let go of my feet, I probably would have been able to get that lip even easier. So next problem we have here is Gates of Ekron. And this is one of the most popular climbs at this boulder. But as I already mentioned, I didn't really know where exactly to start these boulders at. I didn't really have much of a description, and I hadn't really seen any photos or videos of the climbs prior to me coming. So from the mountain project description, apparently some people start with one hand in the undercling and another hand on kind of a slopey pinch, and I really had no idea what they were talking about. But I will definitely say that of some of the starting moves I did try that unfortunately I forgot to record, starting with both hands on the undercling felt incredibly hard, but at the very least I knew if anything it was going to be a little bit more difficult or a little bit more conservative than the other start that was recommended. So after I figured out the start here, my issue started arising with figuring out how to get my hips up and around this bulge. So right there, I kind of gas-stoned almost, or not gas-stoned, I mantled inwards to the wall. And that seemed to work pretty good. So bumping my right hand over, stepping my feet up, got into the gas stone move there. That's what I meant to say earlier. And then gotten my heel up. Now one of the issues I was having on this attempt, as you can see, is my heel was really vertical. And so after rewatching that clip, I knew that this next attempt I needed to place my toe down and forwards and kind of rotate outwards with the heel. So then the challenge arose with how to get my left foot around the bulge. So once again I tried pushing out, kind of mantling inwards, and then it just still felt really awkward. I couldn't really get that left foot in a good position to feel comfortable. So once again trying to push out again, but I just really couldn't get my feet where I needed it to be. But I did start to wonder if maybe pushing more with that left foot just a little bit higher up, if that would work. So starting from, post start on the climb, I reached my hands up once again, but this time I decided to push with an overhand instead of an underhand and get my foot a little bit higher. And that allowed me to get that high left hand crimp and step up and over the bulge. So now that I knew the beta, I decided to brush off the holds really quick and give it another try. And because I eventually realized that I was cutting my feet out on the camera video, I set up my phone to record the foot sequence through this section. So moving into this gas stone move once again, stepping high with the left foot and reaching the heel up. Once again pressing that toe forward and moving the left foot up so I could reach that high left hand crimp. I got my right foot to the toe and then stepped up and over. So this one was definitely a bit of a challenge, but hope you enjoyed.